I'm John Graft, and I love Chicago real estate. Between showings, I stop in my favorite places, talk with local business owners, and bring their story to you. This is my Chicago.
So that's the biggest mixer I've ever seen.
Really?
Yes.
People come in and they're like, is it a prop? And I'm like, no, it's
I thought it was when I walked in.
fully functioning. Really?
Absolutely. I thought it just
Like
moved the
there's
place.
like literally zero room for props or anything in here. We're so tight as it is, like trying to fit this operation in here. We didn't think that we were going to be doing the Tavern Style, which requires more equipment. So
Why does it require more equipment?
well, you need the mixer, you need the sheeter. Before we were hand mixing the Sicilian, and it wasn't sheeted; it was just panned by hand. So it was just a lot less like large equipment. So yeah, we expected this originally to be a dining room, and then obviously everything happened. We switched gears, and yeah, we've just kind of made it work with everything that we got.
Is it the fact that you need it mixed more, that you need the mixer and you don't with the Sicilian, or what is it about the pizza?
It's just a lot bigger batches.
Okay.
We were actually doing the Sicilian with the mixer as well because we kind of had like a 2-week period where we were making the transition, so we were getting everything that we needed here, and it's just a lot larger batches, so it's really hard to do by hand. Yeah.
I think you guys have one of the most interesting stories because we heard about it way back, I don't know, 4 years ago?
Yeah, we started in 2018 with Eat Free Pizza.
And we found you guys at Mars, thought the pizza was great, and then we're looking at the story, you're like just giving away pizza out of your apartment.
Yeah, so we started Eat Free Pizza. Well, we started making pizzas a while ago, probably like 2012 or so, I would say.
Just for fun?
Yeah, well, we always wanted to like open our own place or open a bar that served pizza. So we started just testing out different types of pizza and what we wanted to make and everything. And it got pretty serious around 2018, and it just kind of got to the point where we were just like eating pizza all the time, and we're like, okay, we can't keep up with the amounts that we're making all the time, and if we really want to practice, we really got to get into it. So then we're like, let's just start an Instagram and give it away for free, and it was kind of set it as a joke in a way, you know, and then
I thought it was a joke at first. I was like, is this real?
A lot of people did,
Yeah.
and we didn't think, we're like, oh, who's gonna like go to someone's house to get pizza or whatever. And so it started with like friends and family, obviously, and then kind of like word of mouth from there just traveled, and then it became like a huge thing, and we were doing it once a week. We would have like 200 people write in to try to get one, and it was
200?
crazy. Yeah, and I responded to every single message. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
So were you giving
every
away
single message.
slices, pies? How did that work?
So we started with what we call the OG Eat Free now because it's been a while since we've done it, but it's kind of like a hybrid between a Neapolitan and a New York slice. So we started with those.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then we did the Sicilian every night kind of as like family meal because we'd always have like friends that drop by or random people. So just to make sure we had enough food, we always did the pan. And then we got invited to do an event at the Hoxton Hotel when they opened. And we were like, well, the Eat Free style doesn't really work. It's kind of like hard to hold and like eat at an event. So we're like, let's do the slices. Like that'll be easy. And that's kind of how we made the transition to slices. And then when we signed on to here, it just made more sense for the space that we were working with to do the slices and continue that.
So were you looking to create the business when you got the event at the Hoxton Hotel?
Yeah, so I mean, we always were like on the back burner, it was always going to be, okay, we're going to open up a business. I guess we just, at the time, didn't really know when and where. And when we signed on to do the Hoxton was actually when we had met Ed, and we were like making business plans. Nothing was official yet, but we were talking to him at that time.
And how were you introduced to Ed?
So we were introduced to Ed through Chef Juan Kim, who's the head chef over at Kimski, which is in our same like little compound here.
Okay.
It's a Polish-Korean restaurant 2 doors down. And he actually came to Eat Free Pizza and like sat down at our table, and he was like, this is so cool, like I love this vibe and everything. And he was like, Ed would love this. So he brought Ed, and of course Ed was like freaking out. He's like, are you kidding me? This is insane. Like you guys are crazy. If you ever want to open a place, like just give me a call. And so we're like, all right, and kind of like we knew who he was, obviously, because of Mars Brewing and, you know, all the businesses around here. So we just kept it on the back burner, and then eventually when we were like kind of being a little bit more into taking the steps to opening a place, we were like, let's just see what that Ed guy is up to. And then he came to us with this idea.
So how did that move on from there? Were you partners? Did he lend you money? How did that
work?
Work?
So he basically was in charge of like making the space happen and everything, and we were just making the pizza. So he's like, I just want you guys to come in and make the pizza.
Okay.
So we helped like kind of create the concept and everything, and the pizza, fried chicken, ice cream idea was all his. Those are his 3 food groups, and he wanted to bring those here. So that was all his idea.
His 3 food
yeah,
groups.
He was like pizza, fried chicken, ice cream. Like he had this idea. That's what he wanted to do. And when we originally called him, he's like, I've been trying to do this project. He's like, I have the fried chicken, I have the ice cream, I don't have the pizza. You guys should do the pizza. So that's kind of how we came into it, just as the pizza people.
Were you super honored when he asked you guys to do that?
Yeah, it was awesome. And honestly, like we had a lot of business opportunities and people coming to us wanting to open places, and we actually were approached by some food halls, and so we did like walkthroughs and everything of different spaces, and at the end of the day we were just like, I really like this guy's vibe, like he's super cool, like I think this is someone that we could work with. Yeah, like you could tell he was just creative. I mean, he has an amazing track record as it is with all the places that he's opened, and just really good energy, so we were like, this is who we want to work with, so that's why we decided to move forward with him.
So you have the ice cream from?
The ice cream is from Pretty Cool. So Dana does all of our ice cream, and we just buy wholesale from her and we sell it. We run different specials every week. I try to keep it interesting with bringing in like a different ice cream bar to keep it fresh, and then we keep all the staples in house at all times.
Okay, cool. And then Juan's doing the fried chicken. You guys are doing the pizza. So I didn't know that until we came here today.
Yeah.
And I feel that pizza, fried chicken, ice cream was your thing, your brand. So if you were ever going to do this somewhere else, would you just do the pizza on its own, or would you try to replicate this somewhere, do you think?
We've talked about both. We've talked about doing pizza, fried chicken, ice cream in other places.
Because you guys are at that level. I feel like you've done this here. You have so much notoriety for it. It's time to bring this to the north side.
We would love to. We would love to. I think that we probably would move forward with just pizza.
Okay.
Unless Juan and Dana and everybody else wanted to join on, it would basically be up to them. But either way, we're definitely going to be doing pizza everywhere we can.
I saw that you guys are doing Chicago Tavern Style pizza, but I was introduced to the Sicilian Style.
Yes.
Which was I told her that it was the only pizza that I felt like kind of feathery and light after I had it. So what changed to Tavern Style pizza?
So that really was another just kind of like adaptation, switch gears. We need to make this work, sort of pandemic thing. This was always going to be a slice shop, and slices, as you know, are like grab and go. We did the little pop-up window on the side. We had the patio in the back. So we had everything to sustain the slices over the summer. But then we kind of decided for the fall and winter we want to do something that's a little bit more delivery friendly, a little bit more pickup friendly, something that's a better price point for people, something that's family friendly also. And then it's the pizza that all 3 of us grew up with. So we always had R&D'd that, and it was kind of just a matter of when we were going to bring it here. And it necessarily wasn't going to be here, like we talked about possibly other locations and stuff. But we just switched gears because it made sense for the current conditions and everything like that. And we love Tavern Style.
Gotcha.
You were already getting a ton of attention for the Sicilian, and I feel like it's only picked up since the Tavern Style. I'm excited to try it. We haven't tried it yet. Super excited.
Yeah, we'll definitely make one for you guys.
What's your favorite?
It's hard to say because I really like them all. Like the Eat Free OG is still amazing, and we've done a couple pop-ups here and there with that style here. And we'd like to bring it back, even if it is just for like a one-night event or something like that. I don't know. It's like hard to say. They're all so good and they're all so different. And they kind of like hold their own,
Yeah.
What were you doing before this?
So before this and still currently, I work full-time as a model. So I was doing that and then kind of turned off a little bit during the last year or so. Billy works in production, so he's a director for TV commercials and film.
Okay.
And Brad was the GM of a restaurant. So he, out of all of us, has the most restaurant experience. Yeah. So when everything happened, like we just basically all 3 of us just went full in on this and had the time to do it. So really it was like a blessing that, you know, it all kind of happened in this weird, crazy time.
And it's amazing because, like, as a model who eats pizza, fried chicken, and ice cream.
I know, and it's
blown away.
it is weird because that is like literally my diet because that's what we have here and that's what we eat every day.
Oh my God.
I think being on your feet all day long also kind of like balances that out. So it works out in a way.
Was everyone scared to leave their jobs and do this full time?
So Billy and I technically haven't left our jobs.
Okay.
It's just slowed down a lot. And I think that for Brad, it was a pretty easy choice to make, like, you know, working for yourself and, you know, obviously this is like our passion. So
It's the dream.
Yeah, so I think it was a pretty easy decision to make.
Couple questions. So you guys moved here when?
To Bridgeport?
Yeah, to open up this. When did you guys open?
So we signed on to do this like spring of 2019, building the place out, everything like that. Like we were gearing to open up like mid-April of 2020, which is when everything happened.
Yeah.
So then we kind of had to take a step back and we were like, okay, let's kind of figure this out. What changes can we make? How can we make this safe? And so we kind of switched over our entire business model and everything that we were originally doing to make it work. And we started as a pop-up. So we were doing it like once or twice a week, just seeing how people responded to it, you know, if it was going to be worth it, if we could make it safe for staff and everything. And then once we kind of figured it out, we fully opened in July, and that's when we opened our patio, the pop-up window on the side, and just like went full on in.
Gotcha. Was there any fear in opening it up?
I think so, a little bit, because you just don't know, and you know, there are so many restaurants that are struggling. Like, was it all going to be worth it in the end? Like, it couldn't have been a worse time to do all of this, you know. But I think that it all ended up paying off, and I think we're all really grateful that it did.
Okay, man. How many pizzas are you guys just shooting out?
Well, it's hard to say because honestly, right now we are limited to the amount we can do because of the oven that we have. Like, we have definitely like a cap on what we can produce in a night.
What can you do in one night?
We do, let me think. I think we do probably about 60 to 70. 70 is like really pushing it in a night. So
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we have.
So you guys are totally capped. You need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now it sucks because, you know, we have people calling in and can we get a pizza? Can we get, you know, and so it sucks because the demand is definitely there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But we're limited with our equipment. So we do have a new oven on the way,
Awesome.
Shipping from Florida. So, you know, who knows how long that's going to take. I think they said like 2 weeks or something. So hopefully we can bump those numbers up and you know, make it happen.
I did see that the hours are only from, I should say only, Wednesday through Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. Is it possible to maybe open up another day, like Tuesday?
We thought about it, and honestly, right now, I don't know if it's just the weather and everything like that. Right now, it doesn't seem worth it to open like a Tuesday or Monday.
I find that with a lot of restaurants, and one thing you guys need a break. Everything slows down.
Exactly, we need a break.
and I think after the weekend, people are like, you know, we ate out all weekend, most people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we eat out Saturday, Sunday, almost always.
Yeah.
It's kind of the day to be at home.
Yeah,
I think it's a smart
exactly.
decision because you might have your business go down a little bit. And I think mainly you just need the time.
Yeah, we do. We are here open to close and, you know, before open, obviously, prepping and everything like that. So it is nice to get those 2 days off. And then maybe, you know, in the summer we can talk about opening up another day and having it staff run or anything like that. But yeah, right now all of our business is on the weekends. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday is where we make our money.
So I'm only imagining the demand will just increase.
I hope so, yeah.
Then if that's the case, I mean, this space isn't gonna keep up with that, right?
No, and that's when we probably would talk about other locations.
Well, I was just thinking about
Yeah.
that. Where's the other oven going to go?
So we're taking out we took out one of the fryers already, so it's basically going to take the place of a fryer, and it's also deeper. So it still all fits under the hood, but yeah, it's just a bigger space, and also it bounces back faster. So that's really...
What does that mean?
That's really what it is. So anytime you put anything in the oven, the heat drops, right? Because whatever's in the oven is soaking up all the heat, you're opening it up, so it loses its heat. So the main thing right now is basically like upping the BTUs so that it can bounce back faster, because basically what the current struggle is the bouncing back of the heat. So thermal genetics, or I don't know, they use
Thermodynamics.
some word that they use that I have no idea what it means, but That's basically the problem. So the new oven would fix both of those things. More capacity, and also it would bounce back faster, so we don't have to worry about spacing so much.
Earlier you were telling us everyone's different roles. Can you break those down for us?
Yeah, so Billy mainly does like all the R&D on the dough and kind of creating the recipes for that. And then Brad like builds all the pizzas. When we were doing the Sicilian, both of them worked together to like create the different specials that we run and the different toppings and everything like that. And then I do most of the back end work. So I'll do pizza prep during the day, and then I run front of house. I run the social media. Hopefully when we get back to doing events and things like that, I'll end up doing all of those things. So any sort of like website, you know, technology related things that fall under me. So,
Okay. So you mentioned that oven was coming from Florida. I have a cousin who has a restaurant in New York. He has a pizza place in New York. So he brought Chicago style pizza to New York. And it actually took off because there was nothing like it there. There was
That's
no deep
awesome.
dish. And now his specialty is more of a tavern style too. And he is opening up a new location during COVID, during all this too. And he was telling me where all these things are coming from. He's like, that's coming from this state, and that's coming from this state. Yeah, we visited him in New York, and everything's coming from all over. Why is that? Why is that coming from Florida?
It was what we needed, and it was at a good price, and so we just jumped on it, and that just so happened to be where it was. We've also looked at other products from Michigan. I think the mixer is actually from Michigan. So yeah, it's just basically like the availability of things, and I think that pizza is such a big selling point right now that everyone is just jumping on whatever they can get their hands on.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you find that? Is there a website for all these things?
You got to ask our business partner. He is the ultimate like.
Ask Ed?
No, his brother Mike. So his
Okay.
brother Mike's also our other partner. They're like, they make up the community of the future, which is all of these businesses that fall under.
Is that a thing, the community of the future?
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
like the general umbrella for Mars, Kimski, Maria's, us, falls under the community of the future. But yeah, Mike is the ultimate like eBay, Craigslist, you know, like
God.
he's on all those auction websites. Like that is his specialty, so he's really good at that and finding the equipment that we need.
So I'm looking at that because it doesn't look brand new. So
No.
is that- how old is that?
I don't remember what year it is. Brad, do you know what year the mixer is?
The mixer?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, I don't remember what year it is. The mixer?
70s?
Yeah, so 1970s. But the guy who had it before us kept really good care of it. He gave us like a bucket of paint to touch it up and all the equipment for it, so it's in really good condition. I mean, things like that, you know, they never go bad as long as you
Yeah.
take care of them.
I know that they have a double push button now, and the last guy came out to repair it was like, wow, that's old, because it has a switch. And
Pole Bar is a brand.
Yeah.
And is it like an auction process? You bid on it?
Yeah, I mean, Mike gets them all from auctions and things like that.
Mike's is-
Craigslist,
and he can go out there and find
eBay. Yeah,
stuff.
he's
He
that
found something
guy.
in Michigan, right? Somewhere.
I think that one's from Michigan, yeah.
Well, we got you here. Can we talk to you about some of the dough?
Sure.
You're the dough guy.
I make dough, yes.
And the first thing we heard when we walked in here is you're doing the R&D for it. And what does that mean? How do you figure out the dough? What does the process look like?
Well, we kind of first figure out what we want to make and what style, and then start to do some research on that. I mean, honestly, we live in an age where anything's at your fingertips as far as information goes. So between, any sort of website you can find or YouTube or anything, you can sort of start to piece together a good base, and then you start tweaking it from there and kind of figure out what you want it to do, and then you adjust it based on that.
Is this something you always wanted to do?
I don't know. Me and Brad have talked about doing pizza for how long, Brad?
Talking about it? Or?
Like having a pizza place.
Probably about 10 years almost.
Yeah.
10 years?
Yeah.
And then I don't know. We started making dough at home, and I don't know. It's just something I like.
Were you guys just hanging out and decided to do it one day, or was there any catalyst that really made this happen?
I think we've always talked about having a bar.
Okay.
And back in the day, it was like, if you're gonna have a bar, you gotta have food. And they're like, well, what's a great food we love that we can serve at a bar? And we're like, pizza. And then eventually it just turned into like, let's just make pizza. We can figure out a bar after the fact. So, but that was kind of like how it started.
So the thin crust is getting so much attention right now. How did you make that happen? I mean, what is different about your pizza?
Well, it's thin. It's really thin. We went and saw the pizza at Pat's.
I love Pat's.
Yeah.
Pat's the cracker pizza,
yeah.
right on Lincoln. Great
And
pizza, fantastic.
kinda
That's what
like-
I was wondering about that because yours looks as thin as theirs.
Yeah, we
I
love
think it's
Pat's.
as thin as theirs. And then we sort of saw like kind of what they do, and then we just started. It's like the same thing. It's like you look something up online, figure it out, and then tweak it to be your own and like what you want it, how you want it to perform. So we did that here, and like it took us like a week or so to kind of get it.
That's it.
Yeah, it wasn't very long. I think maybe we hit our stride at that point on like being able to like make a dough we want, and then try to like get it really how we want it, and then so yeah, it was pretty fast. But we worked out a lot of kinks since, a lot of kinks. So
Was the Sicilian harder to figure out in the beginning?
we had kind of been making it as our family pie
Oh yeah?
when we were doing the eat free pizza. So it
Okay.
would be like we only had like 12 for our guests to show up and take and enjoy there. So then we needed to eat because people always wanted to stop by and eat pizza. So we started doing the Sicilian, and then we took a trip to New York, and that was like kind of inspiring.
What's your favorite New York place?
I like Mama's too,
Okay.
actually, which is on the Upper West Side. It's like 103rd and Broadway, something like
Maybe
that.
further than that.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I think a lot of people will like say like Scars or
Scars is great. I like Prince's. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
Prince Street
Prince
Pizza.
Street.
Yeah.
We had Prince Street. We did most of all of them, but I like Mama's too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So when you guys were doing the Sunday thing, the pickup, I mean, were you just like, how did that look? Were you guys just hanging out all day making pizza and people would stop and come, or was this come in, sit down, eat with us? What was that vibe like?
I mean, it was kind of like, we had the giveaway, so we knew who was coming, and they made selections on if they wanted toppings or if they wanted chef's choice, which then we would make a special for the night. So it was kind of like prepping for a couple hours before. I mean, it was only like 12 pizzas or so it wasn't anything crazy,
I mean,
it's
at
not-
the time it felt like it was crazy.
It
Now
felt
it's
like it was
oh,
crazy,
God.
but now
thinking
it's
about
like
12
nothing.
Pizzas is like
12
our
pizzas
first-
in a standard
Yeah.
oven, that's a lot, right?
Yeah, but then we like quickly moved on to making like 40 pans a night, which was a lot more prep.
Can you do 2 pizzas in a standard oven, or is it one pizza,
2 in 1.
one each
We had
time?
built, we kind of modified the oven by putting our pizza stone on the very bottom, like the first rack, and then we built up like what we considered a pizza box around it. So we.
What does that mean?
Well, if you look at a deck oven like that, it's only
Uh-huh.
6 inches high or something like that.
Wow.
So we're like, why are we gonna bake in a home oven, which is 24 inches high or whatever? So we're like, the heat's coming from the bottom. Let's put our stone down there, and then we'll build on the next rack up, basically completely enclose it. So we started putting
Like a hot
baking
box.
sheets and steel on there.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Foiled it off and like sealed it so there was no
my
heat
God.
escaping.
This
So you-
sounds like the most jerry-rigged thing you'd
Oh,
ever
it was.
seen. Yeah.
And the thermostat was up on top, so it could never reach temp. So it just constantly would go.
Okay, so you're kind of hacking the oven.
Yeah.
Yeah, the door fell off.
Fell off.
And the light bulb exploded on there, which I've never seen a light bulb explode. So I don't know.
You're watching it when it happened?
Yeah, it
And
right
the shelf collapsed.
Yeah.
because It expanded.
Yeah.
Oh my
and it
God.
exploded like right when we were about to serve pizza. It sucked.
So it is possible to make great pizza out of your standard oven.
Yeah.
If you don't mind breaking
void
the oven.
warranty, but yeah, it works. And then I don't know. That's how we got it. I don't even think our current oven gets as hot as we got it in that oven.
Really?
It'd be like 700 degrees. It
What do you get this to? What does this heat at?
says 650.
550.
But it gets to about 575 top.
That's
Yeah.
it?
Okay.
that's a-
And the new one, will that get hotter?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Neapolitan style or anything like that? Have you guys considered that?
We started making that first.
Yeah?
And it's just hard to practice because you don't always have access to the ovens for that.
Yeah. You need that higher temp, right?
Yeah.
You do.
And
like,
also, there's a lot more that influences the dough too, like temperature, humidity, and
Yeah.
so it's a little bit harder to
we
get
were
it
trying
where
to
you
do
want it.
a naturally leavened Neapolitan style, which we can do. We did it actually recently, not to just for fun. It's a scary element to it, I guess, where it might not work out and you could lose an entire day. But
You kind of really need a controlled environment to make it.
but
Okay.
we'll do it one day, I think.
Yeah.
Because I only see it with the particular ovens everywhere, and
Yeah, you
that's what I was
definitely
curious
need that,
about.
yeah.
You need that for sure.
And then you said the leavened, you said you wanted to do it naturally leavened.
Yeah.
So what's the opposite? I know nothing. I
It's
do
like
not
a
cook.
sourdough pizza.
Okay.
basically. So it's just a not
With a
commercially
natural
yeast,
starter.
a natural starter
Okay.
and all that stuff. Which we have one here currently that I think we're gonna try to do the pan with that.
I learned what starter was right
You learned it during
COVID, but I learned it at the end or the middle of December, and I learned that it could, like, you're constantly feeding this thing. My aunt said she's been feeding this starter for years, like decades.
We had
I
one
couldn't
for,
believe it.
For Eat Free Pizza. We had one for like probably 5 years straight, and it was like it's like a pet. Like
Yeah,
would
that's
pass
what
it
she
back
said.
and
It was like a
forth.
pet. It was the weird.
If we
it
would go out
grossed
of
me out,
town,
really.
we would like give it to Brad, and if Brad was going out of town, he'd give it back to us, and so we had to like take care of it and feed this thing. Yeah, we pass it back and forth.
So is it hard to recreate that, or why do you have to do that every time, or how does that work?
It's basically a living thing. So you're
Uh-huh.
feeding it yeast and it's bubbling, it's like it's active. So you have to feed it,
Uh-huh.
So yeah, we kept it going for a while. I think we had it for like 6 years or something like that, right? 5 or 6 years?
What's up?
Starter.
Pizza Farts.
Oh,
That was his name. Pizza Farts.
Pizza farts?
Yeah.
'cause it's smelly and it makes a lot of gas.
Yeah.
Do you think you've perfected Sicilian and the Tavern? No, there's no such thing.
I think there's always room for improvement
Yeah,
in anything you do,
And
especially
also,
being like perfectionist.
Everything changes every day, like the
Yeah.
humidity and
Humidity.
temperature, everything. So
How do you choose the ingredients? I noticed, so you had this big bag of dough over here, right here, and we bought some dough the other night, and I know this is much more than all the other stuff on the shelf, and we were like, should we get it? Does it matter? Like, dough is dough. This is what we bought. This is what you guys are using, so this is definitely what we're using moving forward.
it's a good flour for sure.
How about the other ingredients? How do you make those decisions?
It's what you can get your hands on. We did a lot of I'm looking at our tomatoes right now. That's a very popular pizzeria tomato, but we did a lot of blind taste tests, just because it's kind of fun to do, anyways. But we'd buy 10 different ones and then sit there and go which one, whittle it down, and then we settled on that one.
That's interesting because I also have heard that unless you're using Italian ingredients, you can't make good pizza, and obviously that's a myth.
I think all that's been proven wrong, right?
I mean,
I agree, because I've heard all that. We were at this place, they were serving really good pizza. And they were like, we're Italian. That's why it's good. You have to be from Italy. The guy in the back was from Italy, was very proud of that. I was like, that's a little, I don't know.
yeah.
Well, he's Italian.
Someone I saw this in an interview once, and someone said when someone's bragging about their pizzaiolo from Italy in America, then he wasn't very good in Italy, because why did he leave? It's a very coveted job, so I don't know.
I'll let you get back to it. Thank
no,
you.
It's fine. It's just,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think you can get regional ingredients that are just as fresh.
I think so too, right? Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna wait to get something shipped from across the world, how could that be?
How fresh could it be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you share the next R&D project that you have as far as style of pizza goes? The next one,
Looking at this, Brad, what are we gonna do next?
deep dish Detroit style.
I actually.
Brad, come say hi.
It might be. Yeah, Brad. Come
Yeah,
talk.
I think with our new place, we're going to try
A
to
new
tackle
beef
Chicago
is
deep
very
dish.
Deep dish?
Chicago
Yeah.
deep dish?
Yeah.
What's your favorite deep dish right now?
I don't know. That's one that's it's where you grew up or what you first tried.
I agree with you. Mine's Giordano's, and that's the reason.
He doesn't have one, that's why he's creating one, right?
Yeah. Mine's probably Duays, not even Uno's. It's actual Duays. You
Okay.
have to go Duays. You have to sit in the booth and get I'll wait for the booth at Duays. There's 3 booths. I think that's all they have, and it's just the experience. But the pizza itself's just a bomb, and it hurts to eat. So
Good to know. Yeah.
yeah. But I think we're gonna try that next. Just because the place that we just got, that's their 2 that they already serve.
Okay.
So we're gonna go in and kind of revamp those 2 and learn from the owner before she steps out.
That's nice. You guys have a new location?
We do, yeah.
Was that off the record? Did he just let it go?
Probably off the record for now. we'll go off the record for now.
That off the record.
It's not that off the record, but we haven't made an announcement or anything about it yet.
Can you tell us where it's going to be loosely?
It's going to be in Westmont.
In Westmont? Okay,
Yeah,
so you're going to the suburbs.
Suburban location, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
totally random.
It's random. It was a turnkey pizza place
It's
that
a Korean connection type of thing.
yeah.
Ed, our partner, and myself grew up in Westmont.
Okay.
So when this place came up for sale, this is one of the classic pizzerias in Westmont, the hometown ones. There's 2 that kind of battle it out. And
That's
this is one
awesome.
of them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just a
That's so how fortunate for you guys. You can take over that location. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can even keep their phone number.
We are keeping the phone number.
100%. Yeah, you have
Oh my
to.
gosh.
963, 1960. Still have it memorized.
There you go.
Wow, you haven't
Wow, you've been going there your whole life then.
Yeah, since junior high. That's
Oh
been,
my
our
God,
pizzeria,
that's
so-
And that was a deep dish
sensational.
place?
They
do both?
Deep dish and tavern, yeah.
They do
Okay.
deep dish, pan, and tavern, right? They have 3 or stuffed.
They do stuffed,
Yeah.
deep
Stuffed.
dish, and then yeah. So I don't know if we'll keep all 3, but we'll definitely learn from her and try to see what we can make.
They have a
Is-
folds oven too, which is
What's that?
A folds oven, which is this big.
Is that the brand?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're they don't exist anymore. You have
They
to,
rotate.
You have to inherent.
like
I've seen those.
Yeah.
The ones that go like this.
You have to like crawl
Yeah, those are
inside of
really
it to
cool.
clean it out.
That's interesting.
It's got that
crazy.
white like enamel on the outside. Looks like a train car. They're really.
I bet she was so excited to pass this on to you guys.
So it was for sale
was.
for.
She's excited to retire.
Yeah.
She's been there for 50 years. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess it was for sale for. Did Ed say like 5 years?
Yeah.
But she won't sell because everyone wants to tear down the building and do like condo or something that's
Yeah.
on the main street.
Yeah.
She wants it to be a pizzeria. Yeah, so we'll
she
have to
cares.
step in and keep it a pizzeria. Yeah.
That's awesome. So is that negotiated and done?
Yeah.
It's done.
Exciting. So
How
when do you have
split the time between here and there then?
That's
Great
what
question.
we're trying to figure out right
There's
now.
3 of us, so it's,
Yeah.
yeah, we're able to.
Yuna's open. She's available.
We're gonna have to. We'll have to split up. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll split our time.
That's awesome.
Well, that's exciting. When's the opening date?
No idea. Like literally, we signed the deal like 2 weeks ago, so it's
So
all very
fresh.
new.
Took a few
Yeah.
months to make it happen. But yeah,
Needs some
that's
cosmetic changes, and so there's a little bit that needs to go into it, and then
Mhm.
probably I would say like spring, late spring, maybe.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, but the bones are all there. All the equipment's good. She has this same hoe bar. This is actually her sheeter. Ours just
Oh,
broke.
No
She has
way.
the exact same one, and we just ran over there and took it out of there. And
That's old looking too.
that's from
right?
the '60s. Yeah.
So will that be eat free pizza or that would be chicken fried?
It's
fried
got
chicken
its
ice
own
cream.
name. It's its own.
Its own thing,
Its own
own
entity.
entity.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, that's cool.
Just
So it's
pizza
completely
only.
separated off.
Pizza only,
Same
okay.
partnership.
Same
though,
partner
it's
with
Ed.
Ed.
Okay,
and-
nice.
Okay.
I can't wait to hear what it's called. I bet you already know too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
Can you say it? Come on.
We could say it off the record.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
'cause I-
Off record, no problem.
Uncle Pizza.
Yeah.
So it's currently
Kim's
called
Uncle.
Kim's Uncle Pizza.
Kim's Uncle Pizza.
So right now it's currently called Uncle Pete's.
Okay.
So we wanted to
Oh.
kind of keep it a little bit, so we're calling it Kim's Uncle Pizza
Man,
because
he
we
loves
bought it
to
off of
make
Kim.
Kim.
There's like 4 Uncle Pete's. They all used to be the same group, and then he sold them off one at a time, like
Okay.
50 years ago. And so we just don't want to be
Kim's been
affiliated with
running
those
it.
other ones where they look up Uncle Pete's and think that's the same pizza.
Yeah.
So we had to separate ourselves somehow.
So Uncle Pete's was the original. That's the location. That's what it is.
That's what it's called.
Got it. Got it. And this is the only one that's left, or are there more of them?
There's still like 3 more in the
Yeah.
suburbs, western suburbs. So we don't want
You don't want to be
with
affiliated.
that. Yeah.
That makes
they're
perfect
all
sense.
different, and then, yeah, we
You
want
guys are gonna splash out there.
Yeah.
There's nothing like this.
No.
nothing like this tavern.
No.
Yeah, Domino's. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're excited to bring it out there.
That's really cool.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I think that's a cool way to end. We got a lot of questions. You guys have, you have
Yeah.
any other questions?
No, I think we covered
Oh,
like a
I
lot of
have
it.
one
Pizza.
question.
Huh?
You guys want pizza?
Of course we want pizza.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
probably want to get the pizza making,
Since-
right?
I mean, it is kind of like a micro food hall here, but you're the pizza person is in charge of it. So, like, can you break down what goes the most? I mean, when you sell pizza, do you always try to incorporate fried chicken in?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our sales are pizza and chicken. And ice cream, has gone down a little bit since the summer, but ice cream
cold.
was a huge seller in the
Yeah,
summer.
when the patio opened.
I had a hard time keeping the ice cream in stock when we first opened. I was buying like probably 5 times the amount that I'm buying now, and it was always like off the shelves. But yeah, it's a little bit of everything. I think pizza is just quantity-wise probably the most, but I think it's also just the easiest too for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all does really well.
Yeah, there's a handful of orders a night that are just chicken, but I think it's mostly pizza and chicken go.
Yeah.
They go together really well.
Yeah.
Especially Sundays. The pizza and wings combo is like
Oh my God.
the big seller on Sundays.
That's good.
Real
to
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks so much for doing
Yeah.
this. This was so much fun.
For sure.
Great.
So like we'll come in the morning and there'll just be a whole bunch of tickets out, and then there'll all be like I'll line them up here, and so basically for like the first couple hours of the evening we're already set. You can't even get a pizza until like 8 o'clock at night. But if you get it on a Wednesday and Thursday, you can pretty much get it whenever you like. So like right now we only have we have like 6 orders. Not bad.
I noticed you guys have those select pizzas. Just add the toppings, pizza, and then throw on toppings. Was that a decision? How do you guys make that?
Yeah, so like we've always done select pizzas, like where like we design like here's 4 pizzas, you pick one of those 4 type of thing. When we were Eat Free, and then when we did Sicilian, it was the same way. For Tavern, we just thought this is more fun. Just let people pick exactly what they want. Yeah.
I like it that way for Tavern Style.
For Tavern.
I know what I want with the Tavern Style pizza. I know the toppings. I'm just expecting you to make the pizza, right?
Exactly.
But for Sicilian or something else, I have no clue. It's awesome to get the options that people create.
For sure. And we had to pre-bake the Sicilian, so we couldn't let people choose that way.
Oh, no kidding.
So those are pre-made in the morning. So we would bake, like 60 pizzas in the morning, and that's it. So it'd be like 20 cheese, 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Already ready.
So it'd be right here. It's just a rack full of pizzas that are pre-made, and then people will order 2 slices, and you take 2 slices off, throw them in the oven, reheat. Yeah.
Got it.
And that's
How
it.
long is a thing cart there for?
That's going to be in there for, the ovens are really hot now because we haven't used them, so it's like 7 minutes, but later in the night, because they've been closed and unused all day and just heating up, but it'll go for like 8 or 9 minutes later in the night.
You spin it throughout.
Spin just to kind of rotate because there's hot spots.
So does Ed ever come in?
Ed comes in every day, yeah, at some point just to see what's up and talk to us and stuff like that.
But they're so close.
Yeah, he lives literally, he's just like 4 doors down, that's his house. Right above Lumpen Radio and his gallery, he lives above that.
Okay, so that's all there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then the brewery is just at the end of the street.
Yeah.
At 35th, pretty much. So, yeah, this is his neighborhood for sure.
What's the story with Lumpen Radio? What is that?
It's just, I don't know. They have, they do have music. They have talk shows and stuff as well. Sadly, I haven't listened to enough of it. So, I know he has a show with Bobby Kahn that I really liked listening to a few times. I listened to that. That was great. But yeah, I think it's just kind of like an indie station, you know? Yeah,
So-
Cool.
I feel like it's
I love
like
how
a
he
college
has his fingers
station.
and all these things.
I know.
When do
He's so
you
creative.
when do you use the wood and when do you use the metal?
Metal's for once it's in the oven, it goes metal from there. The wood is just to build on and then slide off. And then this will not be able to get back under there. It just doesn't have sharp enough edges to get underneath.
So when I bought pre-made pizza dough from like Italy, Whole Foods, they come so wet.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to not like stick? I mean, just flour a ton.
So flour, you could use flour though absorbs back into the dough, and you're going to get those cakey kind of bottoms.
Yeah.
That's not great. No one likes that. Cornmeal is another option. We use actually breadcrumbs because breadcrumbs they're perfect and they
Super fine.
super fine breadcrumbs, and then you don't mind the flavor of them. It's not going to mess with the flavor, you know. So we choose breadcrumbs. Most people just use flour.
But when you get, I mean, I saw him make the dough. It's already dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I buy the dough at the store, it's so wet. So
You'll still need something on the deck for sure, on the board, to get it to slide off. And the longer it's on here, the more it's going to stick. And you can still use breadcrumbs even when it's wet like that.
okay.
Yeah.
So I know you just like rolled it out, or it was already rolled out. But like typically when it's like in a ball like that, and when it's wet, do you set it out for a while, or do you work on rolling it out immediately?
So when it's in a ball, we ball ours, and then they sit in the ball overnight. And then it comes out, it's cold, and then I'll throw it through the roller. Tons of flour goes on for that. While you're rolling, you use a lot of flour.
Okay. Wow.
But before it goes into the oven, we don't want to add any more. We don't add any flour anymore. But if you're making a different kind of pizza, like a hand tossed or like a Neapolitan stuff, you're going to use flour for sure. You have to. We used, back when we were doing our original pizza, which is kind of like a New York style. We didn't use flour. We used flour. It was a semolina blend that we came up with. So it was kind of like a little cornmeal and a little semolina mix.
Okay.
Semolina is it's a flour that is. How would you describe semolina flour compared to regular flour?
I think it just comes from a different part. I think it's like I don't even know. I think it's like
I don't know
durum
what
wheat
makes
or something like
semolina.
that.
It's a little more granular. I feel like a little more like cornmeal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's yellower.
Yeah, it's yellow in color. It doesn't seem to absorb back into the dough as much as if you just use like a bread flour on the deck like this. That's the only time we use semolina. It's just to get it off the peel.
So I saw Girl Scout cookie boxes. Do you guys sell those now here?
No, but grab some if you want. They came in this morning.
Oh,
So when he's done, he's going to take it out. He's going to put it on. This is our drying area, our resting area. and it'll rest there for a while so it doesn't steam.
Yeah. How long do you leave it on that rack?
Just a minute or two.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
and it just cools a little bit, and it just kind of solidifies the crispiness and keeps it from steaming.
I bring that up all the time. Even when you make pizza at home, people often like, it's on the counter, put on something like, no, like let that rest for a second, let that steam get out there. It ruins the pizza.
Totally.
Cookies or something like that.
Yeah. It ruins it so
Yeah.
quick. And the pizza's
Everybody
done
has
after
different
that.
Right.
time. Somebody said, Emmett told you
Emmett
that
does
it's like
3
3 minutes. But is
Oh,
that
because
because
it's on here?
Place. Yeah, he puts it there for 3.
Okay.
Because it's deep dish though, right?
Yeah,
I
maybe
wonder.
that's the reason.
Yeah, the deeper is a lot of moisture.
There you go.
You guys got mushrooms, but it's already has a little bit more moisture.
Gotcha.
Moisture's hard to work with, right? Because sometimes
Yeah.
you get a pizza, and it's so like there's nothing worse than getting delivered pizza and you can't even get it off.
Ingredients like this that are gonna have moisture, we roast them already so that they're not going on with all that
Wet,
wet.
yeah.
That's moisture is your biggest enemy, so we're constantly doing everything to dry all the ingredients out as much as you can to keep it dry.
Since you guys live so close to what is the place? Pizza Friendly Pizza.
Yeah.
You guys have tried their pizza?
We have. We actually did a pizza trade with them not too long ago. Unfortunately, they didn't get our Sicilian. It was when we started doing the tavern, so we gave them a couple taverns for their Sicilian.
What are people ordering more now? The Sicilian or the tavern?
The tavern, you could just, it's probably
That's
about
all
the
they
same,
have right
right?
now.
No, we do higher numbers than this with the tavern.
Do we? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's misleading us. We didn't have deliveries in time or anything like
Yeah,
that.
we didn't have delivery.
Do not have enough time to really know. And you've been getting a lot of press for the tavern.
It's hard to say, I guess. But I think we do more numbers than the tavern.
Higher
Also,
sales.
the amount that we're able to produce, we do more.
What's the difference between Sicilian and focaccia?
That's it. They're not that.
Tell them much of a difference, yeah.
So it's like a focaccia for the most part. I mean,
Noah Sandoval, he makes their Sicilian style pizza, and I forget, he posted just an Instagram story. It was a hot minute, and he took it down right after that, revealing like his way of doing it. It was just so interesting. So he called his pizza sourdough Sicilian, and he just like, he has like a ruler that measures his, how much it's risen. I thought that was interesting. Noah.
Oh, no, it's
Oh
yeah,
my God.
definitely completely, totally different techniques from the way we make ours, too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
my biggest complaint about current people that this is not burnt.
Par bake.
People see that and say, "Oh, your pizza looks burnt." That drives me. That is not burnt. That is,
No.
Also, if you see under our pizza,
Oh.
they think when they see that it's gonna be like that at the bottom. And it's perfectly leopard.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I want that a little
I know.
bit.
We do. I mean,
Yeah,
we
that's
like
the perfect amount, I think.
we like
To the
well
point where we
done.
put a disclaimer on our website that says our pizza just comes well done, and
That was
that's it.
That's it. Yeah, this is our pizza. This is the way we're making it.
Wait, yeah.
You deal with it. Yeah.
I don't know when I was introduced to that. They're like, "How do you want the pizza? Like, well done." I'm like, "What? How, like the best way? Whatever. How like you? I'm not gonna tell you how to."
Also, like our pizza's so thin to cook the ingredients, it's gonna be well done.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Have
that's
you ever gotten a complaint other than that when you were selling Sicilian?
No,
No.
no,
good.
that's just, thank you.
The burn is the only thing that we've had a complaint about, I think, from
And it's
the
usually
tavern.
people that didn't try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been people like
fussy
people who
people.
see
That
photos
means-
online. They
We always tell people,
Wow.
so we're like, just
Yeah.
try it.
So
If
I
you don't like it,
Facebook
we'll give you a refund.
Yeah.
We've never gotten a call back.
But